And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, August the 3rd, 2019. It is Season 13, Episode 28. I am Scott.
And I'm RJ.
As all today, folks, you know we were supposed to have Nate today, but he could not make it, unfortunately. We will get him back on the show soon. Matt will be back next week, I believe, as well. So, you know, we'll get everybody back. And then in a few weeks, we won't be here. I'll be in... I almost said San Antonio, but I'll be in Seattle.
Thousands of feet up in the air.
Yes. Very, very high, and I forgot it's legal there in Seattle. So, yes. Flying to Seattle for the Penny Arcade Expo coming up later this month. Let me get this out of the way real quick. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us at Twitter at InGameChat. You can find us on Facebook there as well. Email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We are streaming right now on Twitch. Not Mixer, but Twitch. Go to twitch.tv. We haven't gotten an offer from Mixer, so we're staying with Twitch.
Yeah, we need a little more clout to do that.
I mean, when they send us a deal, look, Mixer, we're open to negotiations. I mean, I know you just blew your wad on this other dude, but, you know, we're good. So, yeah, twitch.tv, go there. You can find us in Game Chat. You can go to our website and click on the link from there, and you'll be able to find us. So, welcome to the show, everybody. If you're not sure what I was talking about there, and honestly, I'm not always sure what I'm talking about when it comes to video game streamers. I know their names. I don't necessarily watch them or know them, much about them or anything like that. So, the only reason I come across these names is because they did something stupid. Usually
that's the case.
Yeah.
Some controversy. They said something they shouldn't. Well, they said something that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Something along those lines, or they did something on stream that got a lot of folks riled up. Something like that.
For the most part, they're just human-shaped dumpster fires, and or at least they can be. Put it that way. The you know, I don't want to say the real them comes through, but I don't necessarily know. I mean, I think when you slip up and you say something that you did not intend to say,
a moment of honesty.
I think part of that is the real you coming through.
Yeah.
You know, you put on the mask for the public, and then if something comes out and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to say that, sorry, oops, then that's just like, that's part of your persona coming out. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything bad about that, depending on what is said.
Heck, you don't have to be a streamer to do that.
You don't.
It's in all walks of life.
I think it's real life or anything like that. So, I know of a few of them. Obviously, if you want to go back to the beginning of it, you go to, you know, that Swedish guy.
PewDiePie.
Yeah. Pewds. Mm-hmm. That guy, who was even featured in, a South Park episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he's a generally horrible human being, I believe. Racially and otherwise. From what I understand, lost a lot of deals because of some things that he either would not backpedal on or would not backtrack on, or that he just kept doing it over and over. And they're like, we can't make any more excuses for you. Sorry, dude, we got to cut ties. Still very, very lucrative as far as streaming is concerned. Although he's more of a YouTube guy, I think, than anything else.
Yeah.
If you want to go to your streamers, then your big name streamers is going to be this guy that got this deal with Mixer. Just to let you know, Twitch is owned by Amazon. Used to not be the case. Twitch used to be Twitch, owned by the same people that owned Justin TV, I believe is what it was, way back when, which is where we used to broadcast from. Mm-hmm. We used to do that a long time ago. There's a paperclip stuck in the roof, the ceiling tile over there, where we used to hang our camera.
Yep.
For
red
old shows. Yeah. Because I would have this laptop that I use was where we based the streaming from. So I would plug the camera, because we only had the one camera at the time, and we needed a group shot.
Did a wide shot, air shot. So
we had this long
Yeah.
extension cord of USB cable plugged into here, and then it went across the room way up to the ceiling tile there, and that camera would have a shot on all of us.
A choking hazard.
Yeah, it was annoying. But that's how we set it up. I mean, we were doing what we could to get out there to people that wanted to see us. So anyway, and we broadcast on Justin TV. Well, then Twitch became a thing, and so we started on Twitch. Twitch is owned by Amazon. Amazon bought Twitch. Mixer is Microsoft's version of Twitch, in a sense, and it is owned by Microsoft. And so they apparently, Ninja is this guy who streams on Twitch, or streamed on Twitch, I should say. Just unbelievable. The most watched person online, I would say, from anyone. And just unbelievable. 15 million people. 15 million followers.
Really got the most out of Fortnite.
I mean, huge. And he's still getting the most out of Fortnite. Honestly, I think that gravy train's going to end pretty soon for him. But I think he's making a really good move here. But from what I understand, Mixer came along. It's like, Mixer owned by Microsoft. What does Microsoft do when they see something they want? Here's some money. Please come to us. They would buy studios outright and buy games and everything else. This is us. You belong to us now. And so they have handed a bag of money to this ninja person. His name Tyler or something or another. I can't remember.
Tyler something.
Blevins?
Tyler Blevins, I believe.
Something like that, I believe. And so it's undisclosed amount. It's undisclosed as far as like what moved him over to Mixer, that sort of thing. But he's over there now.
Yeah, Richard Tyler Blevins.
Yeah, and so I can only assume that he was offered a massive amount of money to make that change. You also have to understand something in the streaming YouTube community. If you're one of those, and I hate using the term those people, but I seriously mean that. If you are one of those people who streams, who posts videos to YouTube, and are lucrative with it, you have to do it every day, all the time.
Yeah.
It consumes your life.
The viewers often talk about how if they take a break or a gap or skip in
they lose
new videos, they lose subscribers.
They lose subscribers, which then loses money.
Loses money for them. Yeah, exactly.
So I want to say this, by the way, since we're on the topic. I know there's a lot of people who just listen to the show in the background. And those are the people that I'm talking to right now. Everybody who actually tunes in to listen to this show, you guys don't have to worry. You know exactly what I'm about to say. But those of you who listen in the background, those of you with kids who their kids are listening and are you're not paying attention right now, pay attention to this real quick for me if you could. If your child, kid, or somebody whose child or kid wants to get into the streaming thing, I am all for it. I am totally for it. You should encourage that, and you should make it happen for them. Let them do that. You should know that if they want to be like the people that they watch, if there are people who watch Ninja or Markiplier or who are some of the others?
Maximilian dude for the fighting community.
For the fighting community, yeah. There was also that Dr. Disrespect guy. That guy can go away. You want to talk about dumpster fire? Really bad.
Illegal even.
I mean, yeah. So if you've got a kid who wants to do that, I'm encouraging that. Go ahead, do that. That's fine. But you got to understand, if you're looking at what your kid is watching and seeing that guy's making videos, playing video, or putting videos up, playing video games, and he's making lots of money from it. I'm going to do that with my kid. No, you're not. You can try that if you want to, but I have to really stress and tell you that it is grueling. It just demands every single bit of your attention to your life. I don't know that some of these people are one person doing the one thing, but from what I understand, not necessarily. They started off that way. And when it became successful, they had to find a way to keep up, because in order to keep up, you have to put out content all the time. And I'm not even talking about daily content. Daily is good, but multiple times per day is better. And that is a lot of work. That is a ton of work.
I'd say about 3 to 4 videos a day,
Yeah.
every day.
You got to record the video. You've got to edit the video. You've got to upload the video. You've got to, add different aspects to the video as far as what needs to go in there. And a lot of these top people who do this, they either have a team, probably very small, but they have a group who helps them do this. They record the video, then it goes off to editing. Somebody edits it. Maybe they do. I don't know. But given how many videos have to be done per day, I figured their job is sit in front of the camera and play the game, and then we'll do the stuff on the back end and get you up and going. It's grueling. And
about a mini company at this point.
yeah, really. And if you want to put in the time to try and make that happen, then by all means go right ahead. I'm not saying you can't do any of this. My whole thing is I just want you to know what you're in for if you decide you want to try. A lot of people don't take into the... I've sat here in the mornings on the morning show with the host here who'll look at stuff like this, like, they're really making money like that? Well, I should get into doing that. And I have to reiterate, this is not something you can or want to do. Trust me. I know you're thinking they're putting out videos, they're making money, and that seems all great. You got a phone, you can do that, right? No, it is a lot of work, more than you could ever imagine. And so it's not something I ever want. We put our videos up out here, and I see we got a phone call already. Matt's not here, so it's me answering the phones. I'll get to you when I can get to you, just to let you know. Please, we want you to call. Just, I'm going to put you on hold before I answer the phone so I can finish up my thing. So yeah, I'm not paying attention to the chat room here. I never understood the appeal of more popular streamers, says AC Wraith. I can't keep up with hundreds of people in chat, let alone thousands. Critical Role is it for me, but that's practically a live TV show rather than what I view as standard Twitch. Drunk Degenerates says, I feel with you on that. It's a job at that point. Yes, there's tons more people being broke in the same industry. Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, you don't hear about the folks who failed doing that, do you?
No.
You don't.
Most of the stuff you hear are when these top streamers come out with a video that says, I have to take a break, my mental status is waning. Exhaustion is setting in, and I feel like I'm going to die at the age of 25 from the amount of stress and workload that I got to put into this. Because a lot of these guys are really, really young, and the success is huge for them, but so is the demand for them to continue to do what they're doing or do more.
I think about the dude, Philip DeFranco.
No.
But YouTube person, he puts out a short video pretty much every day or so, news and things that's going on and everything like that. And his popularity just blew up all of a sudden. Had things he had to do to keep up. Staff on crew to help him get the show together. So that's why I said miniature companies now, because he just revolves around him putting this video out every day and all the stuff that has to go behind there.
Also, if that's something that you're going to do with your child or that your child wants to do, or maybe you just want to do it yourself, this is just something else to think about, is that you've got to be ready for the feedback you are likely to receive online. Again, when I say that people online are human-shaped dumpster fires, I'm not talking about you or anybody else that I know, because I've been able to discover some really, really genuinely fantastic people online that I've remained friends with, that I've still talked to this day. I performed weddings for some people that I met online, and they're wonderful, fantastic people. And so I'm not necessarily talking about these. I'm talking about the people you're going to get comments from if you start putting content out there. You're going to get some good comments. You're going to get some great comments, some great encouragement. It's going to be good. But then you need to be able to understand or deal with when you don't get those and when you get horrible comments. And God forbid you're a woman who is going to get into streaming. Man, I'm not saying, again, I am not saying you can't. I'm just saying be prepared for, I wish I didn't have to say it. I wish I could say that you're fine. Everything's going to be great, and it's going to be wonderful, and you should do this. But you've got to be prepared for some horrible things. And that is a sad, sad fact that I wish I didn't have to state.
Yeah, look, man, you know how it is on the internet, folks. Folks get really brave behind that keyboard, and then that keyboard and distance makes folks brave with the things they can say.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy Ninja, Tyler, moving over to Mixer, it was kind of completely out of the blue. He'd been on Twitch forever. Been Twitch's most popular streamer, Fortnite's most popular streamer as well. Mm-hmm. He already had a bunch of money. Dude's pretty much already set for life if he's been managing it well, and I would hope that he has. Mm-hmm. So my thought on this is...
Yeah.
He's moving over to Mixer. Mixer is very low key. I don't know exactly what their popularity is, but top of mind value, they're under Twitch.
Okay. Yeah.
Now that might change a little bit now that he's over there, because that's going to.
They definitely got some notice with this signing.
They
definitely got notice. Now.
They got some massive notice with this, but honestly, I think this is more of Tyler saying, "I can't keep this gravy train going." I'm getting older. Things are getting more. I need more. I've got more things coming into life that I need to deal with.
I think
I'm pretty much set for life. Why don't I move this thing over to Mixer to get some more money in here, and I can just kind of quietly fade off and do my thing or whatever. I feel like he might be prepping for.
Just turned 28 this past June.
Yeah. I feel like he's kind of prepping for the end of it, and not in any sort of a sad way. I think he's making smart moves.
Yeah, I have my 15 minutes. It's time to.
He had some it's not even just 15 minutes, man.
He's had more than that. But
he's had some great time, and I honestly think, given the amount of success he's had with Fortnite, I think he'll be brought. If the esports thing takes off, which it's odd for me to say that because in a lot of people's minds it already has, but. And we've got a story about a 16-year-old kid winning $3 million from a Fortnite tournament
before taxes.
Yeah, you're right.
Before taxes.
When 16 years old, is it still? Does taxes still involved? Well, I guess I don't know. I don't know how that all works.
Uncle Sam will get his cut
in some way or another. I understand. So yeah, I think that he'll be an ambassador to that game, likely. And I say ambassador in a sense of he'll be doing some commentary or he'll be expert analysis or something like that. It's a lot of the times, like you watch football games. I know people listening who are just having this on in the background. You're in the South, you're watching football games. You know what happens when players get done with football. They go to commentate. That's pretty much the case. When they're done, they go and they do color, play-by-play stuff. Yeah. So this is exactly probably what he's gearing up to do. And it'll just be a nice little retire at age 30 and never have to work a day in his life.
That's the dream, ain't it? Retiring at 30.
Yeah, Lethal Migraine just joined. Has anyone figured out how much Ninja's getting paid by Microsoft? I have no idea. I don't think that's been revealed. And you know what? I actually haven't looked at any kind of forums on it. I haven't gone to any forums to see if anybody's like, rumor is... I hear it's this much. I haven't seen anything like that, so I'm kind of curious if there is anything. But as far as we know, no number has been thrown out there as to how much he got paid for this. But you got to figure. First off, like I said, Lethal, it's Microsoft. We know they have money-hatted so many development companies to get their properties, and so. They gave a money hat over to Ninja, and I'm sure it's... I don't want to say it's more than what he's worth, but it has to be something massive to pull him away from Twitch like that. Something that he looked at and said, there's my door. This is my door to finally being done with this where I can relax and take it easy. Not because this money is going to push him into that retirement thing. Yeah. I think that this money is the nice cushion of saying, this is it. This does it. This is my way out to where I can do this.
I see a little article here about how much money does he earn. It said if you break it down between YouTube, Twitch, and sponsorships, about 6 figures a month, $500,000 a month from YouTube, about a little bit more than that from Twitch, but with all the endorsement deals and things of that nature.
$500,000 a month?
Yeah. So 16 to 18 million a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. The millions of subscribers, they add up, man.
And I know what you're thinking. Again, going back to the people just casually listening to this, I know you're thinking, wow, that much money just to play video games and video yourself playing video games? Oh, that's a market I need to tap into. No, you try it.
What's that saying? Easier said than done.
Be prepared to lose your mind at a young age, or ever how old you are right now. It won't take long before it's. I know.
I can't imagine the amount of burnout that happens with these folks as they start this.
There's a lot of burnout.
It's about how long, I mean, on the average, think how long it takes for someone to burn out doing that. I mean, it's video games is something I love doing, I love playing, but every day for hours and hours and hours.
And then when they take the break, they figure out that, I lost a lot of subscribers. I mean, people are fickle. If you're not there every day, they don't care about you anymore.
That and the fact that there's so many other options out there for people to watch.
There is.
Yeah.
I've never been
Twitch and YouTube. So got that going against you as well.
Part of me wonders what that's like. First off, I don't experience that with anybody that I know where it's like I'm going to come home and watch YouTube all day. You know, when I get home from work, I can't wait to come home and watch my favorite streamer on YouTube. Never crossed my mind.
No, I mean I come home, it's like browse the internet a bit and then play games or something like that.
Yeah, I come home and ready to drink and nap. I don't do either. What I usually do is I sit in front of the computer and I play video games.
Yeah.
But to do that as a way, here's a good point. I know the whole saying of find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life.
I've heard that before, yeah.
Yeah. That might exist. That may very well exist. Mm-hmm. There are some people out there who probably genuinely love their job, whether or not they started out to want to do that or not. But if I went out there and tried to make a living off of doing what I love, it will then become a job. It will then become something that you will burn out on it. You will. You will burn out on it. It's the reason that we have vacation time at work. It's the reason that we have holidays during, with our regular jobs and stuff. You got to take breaks. It's the reason we got weekends for that. You got to take breaks. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, anything. You want to turn video gaming into a job or into a lucrative hobby, then you can, but it will turn into a job. Whether you hate it or love it, it will become that. And there will be days when you will not want to do any of it. If you actually want to be lucrative about it and actually make some money off of it. I mean, it takes a lot of work, and then it also takes a good amount of luck.
Yeah, that reminds me. You said about children getting into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of kids. That's the thing. Kids watch these streamers like, I want to do that.
There's this reviewer on YouTube. I think it's called Ryan Toys Reviews. At the 6-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's a 6-year-old kid doing
doing these things as well.
And he's pulling in a lot of money too.
$11 million a year from this report.
6-year-old child.
From this report in 2017. Yeah, $11 million a year reviewing toys on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I
mean, it's out there.
Now that would be something I like to think about for behind the scenes like that, because we just said it's an everyday thing, right?
Yeah.
Videos every day for a 6-year-old.
It's grueling. You want to get up there and actually, I mean, if you want to get up to their status, it's some grueling stuff. Let's go to the phone real quick because I've left this person on hold. I'm going to guess it's Chris, but it might not be. Hello, who's this?
This is me, Chris.
I figured it was you, buddy. How you doing, man?
Anyway, I've been playing Forger lately, but since you've been talking about the streamers and stuff, I wanted to tell you a funny one that I watch every once in a while. His name is Donnie Bobes. He just does things on Minecraft. He's mainly on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It trolls people, it's messing around with people, with has fun with playing Minecraft all the time. Well, there's a couple of series that one of them, a teacher in Colorado, caught her children watching his videos in class and demand him to change his schedule upload and make it more educational and everything. Ended up getting calling the principal as well and said, oh, we've had issues with her in the past, and I think she ended up getting fired over this issue because she was harassing him.
Wait, so she demanded that this streamer change his material for the sake of education.
Change his material. Also change the time he uploads and make it more educational, and tell him to get a real job, which he's already stated he works 13 hours a day doing this for a living, which that's a lot of darn time anybody's book.
I would imagine that would have set him off quick. someone doing that to him, yeah.
But the other story that was, there was like 7 videos that he uploaded, with updates on that one, and then another one that an issue occurred. He banned, he always detects hackers and stuff, people cheating on his server, and he always bans them, and people start cheating and hacking just to be part of his videos. So, oh, look at me, I'm on his video. And so he banned a kid, and his mother got involved with it and got mad at him and basically told him, no, you can't punish my child. That's my choice and my decision. I punish him. You're going to have to let him play. And ended up threatening him and told him that she was going to call the police and everything like this, and asked where he lived and everything, which it wouldn't have mattered. He lives in England. He's overseas.
Wow.
And he ended up, saying that she was going to have her, her husband call him and talk to him. That eventually happened. It happened to be her ex-husband, and he stated that. Yeah, she has issues, and I know it. I know exactly what you're going through. It's not the same situation, but I'm sorry for you having to put up with her. And she ended up contacting, finding his physical address, which it wasn't really his physical address. It's like his lawyer's address, so everything goes to his lawyer. And she sent his lawyer a letter trying to make it look like he owed her money and everything, and try to scare him and everything, and that one took place over 10 videos worth, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it is
the things that people go through.
Yeah, it is. There's some's hilarious, some scary. What some folks go through, like if someone gets mad at you for like competitive gaming, you beat someone on stream badly, and then they want to do some like dox you or something and reveal your location, things like that. I mean, some people have done that. I mean, there's a lot of things you're going to have to go through being a popular streamer as well. Yeah,
I mean, for the people that are out there that do that for a living, I'm glad I'm not in your shoes. I'm glad to to watch a few people's videos every once in a while and get a chuckle out of them. But I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, Chris. Thanks so much, man. We're going to be taking a break here.
All right. Well, y'all have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks,
Take care.
Take care now.
All right. Bye.
Just looking at some forums here, rumor is that around the $50 million mark. $50 million for that move.
Yeah.
Somebody did the math, and they were looking at his most recent Twitch numbers and said, let's pretend Twitch Prime is a paid sub and not an advertising expense. Multiply his number of subs by however much you think he gets per subscription. Let's say he gets $5 for a subscription. Twitch takes a cut of that, about 50%. Given the current numbers, he's at maybe 20,000 subs. That's $100,000 a month for him. If the 50 million number is true, Microsoft paid out 40 years of his current revenue.
Jeez.
If that's the case.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Somebody looked at it just today around noon or something like that, where this gives you an idea of how unpopular Mixer is compared to Twitch. But Ninja at some point today around noon or so had 33,000 viewers. The second highest to that, 6,200. That's it. 6,200. That's the gap.
At noon today.
Yeah, around noon today. Yeah, Mixer is not a popular platform.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, how many people actually know about Mixer?
True.
Like I said, a lot of folks know about it now, but a week ago, not so much.
Yeah. But again, I don't know about that number if he got paid $50 million. I mean, that's a pretty good amount, though. That could be an issue where he's like, all right, good, I'm done. I got this money that I've been making hand over fist here for the past year or so, where it's like I already had 20 some odd million. Now I'm sitting on 60 to 80 million dollars.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good. There was probably a contract involved where it's like, we're paying 50 million and we got you for how long? Do you think they, what was the contract for? And was it a contract where it said you have to provide content for us so many hours per week or so many hours per day? I'm curious what the situation was. Would really, hopefully, at some point, love to know what that deal was. We got to take a break, and today we're featuring the music of, and I'm going to get his name wrong. He's German. It's Chris Ulsbeck, Huelsbeck. I think it's Ulsbeck, maybe Chris Ulsbeck. Now he goes back a ways. He started in the Commodore 64 Amiga days, so yeah, he's got a lot of old stuff here. This one is a piano version of a track that he did for, I want to say it was the Amiga. It's called Gem X or Gem apostrophe X. It was a Jewel puzzle thing from way back when. You may have to look. It's Gem, Gem apostrophe X. You may want to see, like, give me a year on that.
Okay.
You're my guy in the chair. You're my computer.
91.
Huh?
91.
Was it 91? What system?
Amiga, Commodore 64, Atari ST, Amiga OS.
Yeah. Okay. Just letting you know. Anyway, it's a piano version. I thought it was beautiful, so I figured that's what we'll start off with. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Oh, Matt, if you could have been here, because our featured composer today, I don't know if Matt would have gotten this piece right off the bat or not. Well, that probably would have given it away. Maybe. It's Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 from the GameCube.
Like I said, it sounds like a space battle type thing going on or something.
It's exactly what it is. That is Chris Ulsbeck is the composer for that. We'll have more games featuring his work coming up a little bit later. Actually, coming up next after we do this segment. We're going to go back to the Commodore 64 days. The actual track from the Commodore 64. So, just to let you, I'll let you know when we get to it. should give you a little bit of a heads up first before you hear it. Phone's ringing again. Let's go back to it. Hello, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this?
Here's Josh from Germany.
Hey, Josh, how
There
you
he
doing,
is.
man?
Doing fine. Thought I'd call in again for once.
Yeah, I saw where you left that up in our Discord that you were going to try and get a call in. So how are things going? What's going on?
Things are going fine. Playing video games. I was planning to call because you guys talked about board games last week.
Yes, we did, because of that massively priced board game for was it Darksiders?
I think
Darksiders, yeah.
Yeah, $280.
It had to have been compared to.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the only way. I got some press releases from that earlier this week, and that is the only way right now that you can buy that game.
Yeah.
Is through the massive $300, $400 collector's
$400.
edition.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can buy that board game. But what did you want to say about it?
Well, I do collect some board games and play a lot of them when I get the chance to.
Yeah.
And board games have been getting quite the renaissance for the last couple of years.
Yes.
And something that really helped with that was Kickstarter.
It was. You know what? I did. I kickstarted a revitalization of Fireball Island.
Yeah, or the Dark Souls or recently Bloodborne Kickstarter board games were out. And those usually get a lot of money too. They usually get their funding, their planning within the first 2 or 3 hours.
Jeez.
Well, yeah, because it's a good deal on a board game, really.
Yeah, and usually you get a ton of stretch goals for free afterward, just for paying the base price.
It's one of the things I'm looking forward to again. This part of what I look forward to at PAX every year when I go, be it Seattle or San Antonio, is the off hours. Like, show floor hours, I'm going to be doing some meetings or, having lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's those off hours when the show floor is closed. Maybe I've already had dinner for the night. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not sleepy. It's, it's only 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'll walk over to the convention center, which doesn't close until like 2 a.m.
Right.
And I'll go in there and I'll just find a group who's got a board game going on and be like, got room for one more player? And they'll explain how the rules work. And I look forward to stumbling upon something that really, really is a lot of fun to play. And I've done that a few times with some of the board games that are on offer there. So I look forward to that every year.
Now, I wonder if some people get these the games for. Are people getting it now for play, just to play, or just for collectability?
Both.
Really, both.
I think you're getting collectors who pick those up, but I think a lot of people who do pick up, it's a different thing. I think. So I buy steelbooks, right?
Right.
And I like that because I like the steals. I never really buy a steal of a movie I'm not going to watch.
Yeah.
I never look at a steelbook and say, I don't really feel like I'm going to watch that movie, but I do want to own it. So I think board game people are just the exact same way. They see a game that's like, ooh, that looks interesting. I'm going to buy that for my collection of board games, but I'm also going to get in there and play it. I want to see how it plays. I don't know that. I'm not somebody who plays a lot of board games, so I can't say for sure. Maybe, do you have any idea on that? Are you a collector or?
Well, I don't have the space currently to really collect the games, so I have a few that I try to play regularly. And I'd say it depends a little on what kind of board game you get, because there are like board games that are mostly cardboard. And then there are the board games that are full of high-quality miniatures that are usually more of a collector's thing, I'd say.
Okay.
Because when you look at the miniatures that come with the Bloodborne board game, they are really top-notch stuff you usually see with things like Warhammer. So those are usually more of the collector games, I'd say.
Yeah, because we were looking at that other board game, and we were noticing how all the intricate details you put on there, all those miniatures, the steel and the SEP, and all those structures they got in there. So we could see why it cost $260 separately. But like I said, you got to buy the entire Ultra Collection set to get that thing. So I was wondering how it could be so much. Then I looked around and saw all these other games that had just as much detail as the others.
What's amazing, board games...
$200 in its own right.
Yeah, some of the board games now have expansion packs. which are interesting to think. It's like DLC for your board game.
Yeah, more miniatures, more structures, more things like that. Yeah.
Also, a fun new thing for board games is the legacy system, I think it's what they call it.
I'm not familiar with that.
That's basically when you add things or destroy things that are part of the board game, like one living game that develops, depending on how you play it. So more like a grand campaign you play over months or years with the people. There's this one board game a friend recently got that's called Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven?
Yeah, that's one of the bigger ones. It's like nearly 10 kilos of play material only in cardboard. So it's a big box. And you put stickers on maps, you rip cards up if you use them and things like that.
Yeah, I'm looking up pictures of it now. Oh, I see. Oh, wow, that could be a massive undertaking then.
Yep, it's a big game. It's kind of like the Hero Quest or something.
The board seems very small, but it's all this other stuff that makes it look massive.
Yeah, it's usually a bunch of little scenarios to play in the grand campaign.
Wow. Yeah, I tell you, it's one of the fun things. I went to, when I was in San Antonio, they have a huge tabletop section for it. I mean, PAX has even done, what is it, PAX Unplugged, I think. And they have it in Pennsylvania or something like that, where it's nothing but board games, tabletop games, no video games whatsoever, but still games.
Unplugged.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it is, and I've always been interested in going to those. But, you'll just go and you'll go into a section where there's just tons and tons of tables and people are just sitting down playing all sorts of board games. And they are friendly. They are so friendly to say, hey, they'll just be sitting at their table. Hey, you interested in this game? Come in. We'll tell you how to play it. Mm-hmm. Some fantastic ones. So, I'm looking forward to that. What was the last board game that you picked up?
The last board game I got is called Root, ROOT. Mm-hmm. And I stumbled across it during binging on Kickstarter, looking for something I could back I was interested in. And so they already finished the campaign for the second expansion.
Look at that. That's a nice looking board.
The miniatures and everything, it looks really gorgeous. The artwork is really charming, and the game, it's a total contrast to the gameplay, because the gameplay is really cutthroat and brutal, actually.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. It's called Root, the game of woodland might and right. Interesting.
Like
so what have you been playing video game wise though?
Video games, I've been playing lots of Mario Maker 2.
Okay.
Haven't been building much in it lately. I'm trying to pick that up again. And other than that, I've been playing more Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah, big expansion or something coming out soon, right?
Prepper for Winterborn.
And they currently have an event for 5 weeks where they rotate through all the seasonal events once a week, where you can basically do everything for 5 weeks. And 1 week after that, the expansion releases. So that's a good time killer.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I started watching The Boys on Amazon Prime.
I started that as well.
I'm hearing nothing but rave reviews on that.
I am only into. I just started episode 6.
Isn't it like?
Oh, okay.
There's
like,
only 8.
It's 8 episodes, so yeah. They say that's the sweet spot. 8 episodes, get not to be too long or too short. That's the sweet spot.
I'm at episode 6, and it's I guess it's the one right after the big Believe Expo that took place in the episode previous.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at right now.
From what I hear, it's
how far are you into it?
I just finished the 3rd or 4th episode.
Okay. Then I mean, the Believe Expo is not telling you that is not a spoiler whatsoever.
Is it safe to say it's heroes behaving badly?
It sort of is, but I think it's more a sense of. I don't know. You know, I was trying to explain this to somebody.
Or how about I've heard this as well, a criticism of hero worship, something like that.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that either. I'm not sure about that. Again, there's a lot of parallels to different things that I would go into. Well, that I'm not about to go into.
Yeah.
Not here on the station anyway. But I was trying to explain to somebody the other day because they were binging on something. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm watching this thing called The Boys," and they were interested in it. I was trying to explain it. And I said, "Well, if superheroes are real," and I thought, well, every superhero movie or TV show puts superheroes in a real light anyway. Like, if they were real, this is what the thing is. So I can't really give that explanation. But it's more of a sense of, let's say superheroes existed in the just massive amounts. And basically what it was is the government never got involved, but corporations got involved. Corporations wanted their brand to be with these superheroes. And so they started getting contracted out to work for the companies and stuff like that.
That sounds like an anime I watched called Tiger and Bunny.
I have no idea. You're not going to be able to, that title, am I going to say, I know what you're talking about.
It was a bunch of heroes, and they had all these logos, and they had the flat-out logos and corporate sponsors on their uniforms.
They're not wearing sponsored, like it's not, they don't look like a race car driver in their superhero suit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not covered in sponsor stuff, but they are owned kind of corporately.
Yeah.
In that sense.
In this show I'm talking about as well.
And the corporation makes movies for them, and which they are in, and of course it shows off their superhero stuff and whatever else. And so it's a way to make money, and it turns it into a business. The job of saving lives into a business. Anyway, that's how I could explain the setting. That's not how I could explain what that's about. That's how I would explain the setting.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, and there's a lot more to it. The easiest thing to do is just go find trailers of the show, and then you can fill in the rest.
And I know it was based off of a graphic novel, which I never got a chance to read. Probably found it at one of the comic shops.
Yeah, it's made the
Garth Ennis?
Garth Ennis is the guy, and he did Preacher, which is fantastic. Fantastic series. I have not watched the show on that, by the way, but the 96 or so book run on that was just wonderful. But although I think the art from, what was his name? Garth Ennis and I mean, they teamed up on a lot of them as far as who the artist was for Preacher, for the Preacher series. And I can't remember what it is, but I know you're looking it up now. Yeah. Somebody will find it.
Yeah, probably pop up in the chat room for us.
Yeah, somebody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Illustrated by Derek Robertson.
Is that for The Boys or is that for Preacher? I'm talking about Preacher.
Let's see. So Garth Ennis was on both of them, right?
Yes.
Garth Ennis wrote both.
What was his name?
Artist Steve Dillon.
Steve Dillon. Yeah. That's who it was.
Painted covers by Glenn Fabry.
Yeah, Glenn's covers were, man. Glenn Glenn's work on Preacher was some of the most interesting and disturbing comic book art I had ever seen at the time. When I saw some of the cover work that he had done, I was, what is this? And why is that so lumpy? It was just, there's a couple of different characters in the Preacher series that are, they have some problems.
Yeah.
Physical problems. And so, yeah.
Oh, I see an image of it right now, yeah.
Yeah. You can see Glenn's work. It's really great. It's a little grotesque. So, well, man, we appreciate you calling. Oh, God. He's gone. I did not hang up on him. He just left. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, Joshua, thank you for calling, though.
I know, yes.
We do.
But anyway, it's fine. We're at the top of the hour here. We need to go to a break anyway. So when we come back, we haven't even talked about what we played. Not that you are going to get anything different from me than what I played last week. You know how that goes. And I'm going to refrain as much as I can from, going off on a tangent with that. Hi, you're on In-Game Chat. Is this Josh?
Yep.
Hey, man. I don't know what happened there. We were about to go anyway, so I appreciate you calling back.
Yeah, I figured I'd just call in and say goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much. Just going to do that. So what time is it over there?
It's midnight right now.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So you'll be up for a little bit longer.
Yeah, sure.
Well, take care, man. We appreciate. We always love hearing from you. So you call back anytime you want, and I'll see you on Discord and online here pretty soon.
All right, then. Take care.
You too, man.
See you now.
See ya.
Bye-bye. And there's Josh. There's a guy I met online.
Yep.
There's a guy I met online playing Destiny back on the PS4 days.
Helped me out too. I'm going with y'all through that.
Yeah.
Through that raid mission or whatever.
Genuinely wonderful person, you know? Not that's what I meant when I was saying that most people online are horrible people.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about the people I know, because the people I know are wonderful people. And Josh is one of them. So, so I wanted to tell you, we're about to go back to the Commodore 64 days with this track here as we go into our break. It's from a game called, and get ready to look this up because I want to find out the year on this, Katakis, Katakis. I guess. Katakis.
Okay.
Katakis. I don't know.
I'll just say Katakis.
Katakis.
88.
1988. Commodore 64. What you're going to hear to start this thing off with is going to sound like we have transmission issues. I say transmitter issues. Like it's a car. It's going to sound like there's some static over the air or something like that. This is just music that we had to listen to when playing games in 1988 on a Commodore 64.
Beeps and whistles.
Yeah. This is Katakis or Katakis or Katakis. I don't know what the name of it is.
I always appreciated the folks who had so much limited things to work with and was able.
But were able to make something out of it.
Make something out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You'll have to figure out what he made out of this. So we'll be back with more in-game chat. Right. What is this going to come out of? I need to be prepared. Right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from, oh man, is it the Twisted Guiana Sisters thing? It's kind of like Super Mario Brothers, but it's two girls. Type up Giana. That's Giana. I guess that's Giana Sisters.
Giana?
Yeah.
Giana Sisters, Twisted Dreams.
Twisted Dreams is, okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
87?
1987?
Platform game developed by Black Forest Games for Microsoft Windows. Successor to the 87 Commodore 64 title, The Great Giana Sisters.
Okay.
Sequel to the 2009 reimagining.
Right,
Giana
they did a
Sisters
2009 version. Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is from that. Welcome back to the show. I haven't really been playing much. I've been playing Destiny 2 really right now. I got all of my... When last we left this tired old topic, you know, what kind of... Basically, I'm just grinding. I'm grinding. That's all I'm doing. I'm grinding in Destiny 2. That's it. Mm-hmm. I finished up 2 things that I wanted to get done before Tuesday's reset this past Tuesday, which I got those done. Mm-hmm. Tuesday started, and now I'm chasing again another thing to grind. Mm-hmm. As of last night, or you could probably say this morning, depends on how you look at the times, I actually basically finished one character, and now I have started on the second to go through the slog and grind again.
The thing about Destiny was, for me, even though I did get 3 characters, one for each type, because I've always been playing Titan for so long, I was just curious to see how I do with Hunter and Warlock, right? But the slog, like you said, the slog is right, because it got to be a tedious sometimes. I just said, I'll just stick with what I know and go with Titan. But it was fun while it lasted. Yeah. Also for Destiny, I noticed that on the PlayStation Store, they showed that Destiny 2 Forsaken, all the full kit and caboodle, they discounted it like 60%. Like, instead of 99, what was it? 30. It was a big discount anyway. I think they took 60% off of it. But you were saying it was all this going to be when it turns free to play later on, isn't it?
Well, later on is now even later on, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I need to look up exactly what is free to play, and I want to say it's just Destiny 2 Year 1 is free to play.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. It may be Year 2. I think it's I think Destiny 2 Year 1 and 2 are going to be free to play, with the exception of the annual pass for Year 2.
Yeah.
So those 3 seasons that they released.
What was year 2? What was the end of Year 2? Warmind?
That was the end of year. That was the end of Year 1.
Okay.
Year 1 had Destiny 2.
Okay. Yeah.
The main campaign. Right. Red War is what that was. Mm-hmm. Then they had Curse of Osiris.
Right.
Which was a big nothing. Seriously, that was a horrible expansion.
One planet, one
and a small planet at that.
One heroic event worth doing.
It was horrible.
Wait, was it just that one heroic event?
Well, they had a couple of heroics, but the Curse of Osiris only had one public event that would spawn on it.
Yeah.
That you could turn heroic.
Yeah.
And then it also had all those weapons you could collect. There was like 12 different weapons, and you had to do a lot of grinding to get those 12 weapons.
I got like 2. No, I didn't. I got them all.
Yeah.
But only 2 of them I used.
But, and then they released Warmind.
Okay, yeah, Warmind, yeah.
And that was the last thing before Forsaken came out.
Okay.
And then when Forsaken released, they had the Season of the Forge, which was their first season content, Season of the Drifter, which was the Gambit stuff, which was bad. They're horrible on their 2s. And then they had what's going on right now is Season of Opulence right now. And that was scheduled to end in September 17th, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. That we got word just last week, just Thursday actually, that they are now pushing back the release date of Shadowkeep, which is the next expansion for the game. That'll come, I think, October 1st or October 5th, something like that.
October was what I looked at.
I think it's October 1 is when, so they backed it up out of September altogether and put it in October. So a lot of things are now extended and moved out and that sort of thing. So I'll look into that to see exactly what is going to be free to play for this. I'm not exactly sure on it, but yeah. So I've just been doing a lot of grinding, and that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do. Although I will say I only have 2 characters. Mm-hmm. They've already put out the roadmap as far as what's going to happen next week What's going to happen the week after that? What's going to happen the week? They've already laid out their entire schedule through up until the release of the game.
Okay.
As far as the big events that are going to be taking place. And once I can get this second character through it, which shouldn't take but maybe a week, I will have nothing to chase in the game. In a way, I'm looking forward to that because there's a couple of other things I wanted to focus on, both video game-wise, as well as, again, I'm working on this Discord thing for our Destiny 2 clan folks. We've seen a big spike in numbers of people playing the game in our clan, and I kind of want to give them a better home than what we have right now, because right now that the Discord that we use right now, the Discord that we've kind of taken over, yes, it's for the show, but it was never intended to be what we've been using it for. And I kind of feel like we've hijacked the thing. So I really want to make something where I can get all these people into it. It wasn't
meant to be dual purpose, so
yeah. Yeah, I'd like to do that. And so I've been working on it now, and I'll have the time to kind of focus on that and really get it going. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the fact that I will have basically done everything I really want to do. I mean, there'll be a few little things that I can do, but nothing that is going to require the time consumption that this is required. So, but that's what I've been playing. What about you?
A little more grinding in Grand Theft Auto Online. Still finally broke the 2.5 million mark. Grinding the slow way anyway for the game. I know that the casino DLC that came out, to get a penthouse in the game, you got to have like at least $1.5 million. But to make it worthwhile, you got to add another $5 million to that. Get $6.5 million. So nowhere near that yet. Outside of that, been playing a lot of Samurai Showdown. On Samurai Showdown, very little bit of Street Fighter actually. A little bit of Mortal Kombat, and let's see, there was something else I was being nostalgic a little bit. I played a little more of Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. Trying to get more, trying to get more scores up because everything dropped down since the last time I played that. So this is pretty much all I've played this week.
Well, if Matt were here, I don't know exactly what he would have been playing. Probably he's got a new computer, so Hitman would be on that list.
Yeah.
Probably some VR titles as well, since that's really what he built the thing for.
It was built for VR, okay.
Well, he's really enjoying the VR aspect of stuff, so he needed a better computer. I mean, it was giving him problems. That was an old computer anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sort of doubles as, hey, I have an upgraded computer. Also, hey, my VR works really well with this. This is good. Let me buy more VR games.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll be back next week to tell us.
The last thing he streamed on that PS4 when he was playing was Ace Combat.
That was a PS4. I'm talking about his PC. Yeah.
So it's much better on PC than PS4. I imagine. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what do we got in the news here? Just from we talk about the winner of the Fortnite World Cup. He's 16-year-old, bringing home $3 million. Good job on that one.
I think there was a comparison between that and let's see, $3 million for the Fortnite. I think Masters winner won 2-point-something million. Yeah, some of the like single winner.
Oh
yeah. So you saw that?
No. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like $3 million for Fortnite. The Masters winner got like a little over $2 million, and then I think Wimbledon was just barely over $2 million. It's like wow. That's where we are now. That's
the thing, man.
Yeah.
Parents who have their kids playing these games are like, wait a second, this 16-year-old won a bunch of... Hey, how well are you at this video game?
Yeah.
Go make us some money.
I had coworkers asking me at work about this, and it's Fortnite, one of the most popular games out there. And they couldn't believe the money that was coming in there. I said, yeah, that's how much money's coming in. This game is earning tons of money.
Anytime in the morning show, if a video game is brought up, obviously all heads turn towards me. Yeah. Tell us about this. And so Fortnite comes around. And I'm like, yeah, okay, he did win a lot of money. And there's, well, what is Fortnite? And I say, first off, I shouldn't explain it because I don't play it. And I have no interest in playing it. So for me to try and tell you what it is would be even worse.
You have to explain what a battle royale is, and
Well, and also without me playing it, I have no way to like simplify it into a here's how you can understand what I'm saying, rather than tell you, well, it's a bunch of players on a map and they all try to kill each other.
Yeah, that's not going to go over well.
But it's like, okay, but so this guy just kills people faster than the other person. Well, yeah, in a sense, there's strategy to it. You can build. Oh wait, you can build things with it. Well, yeah,
which goes off to another tangent. Yeah,
there's a whole lot of stuff involved.
You're going to have to explain like 6 or 7 things before you get around to the point of the whole thing. Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
Mikuru X says, "No, honestly, I don't believe Fortnite is all that good of a game." I haven't played it, so I really don't want to judge on if it's good or not. But from anything I've seen on it, it does not. I have no desire.
It doesn't. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Mikuru. But it's like Final Fantasy. Everybody raves about that, but I gave it a shot. I couldn't get into it. It just doesn't pique my interest. So, are you in the same boat with Fortnite?
It's not my cup of tea, I guess, is a good way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, PUBG came out first with that, and a lot of people like that, and Fortnite same way. I looked at it. I mean, it just didn't pique my interest. And like Apex Legends, a lot of folks are having a good time with that. But
I jumped into that and played a little bit of it, and I had fun for a little bit, and then afterwards I was like, this is not my game.
How long did it take you to get to that point?
It probably took. I mean, I wasn't playing much of it. It only took a little bit. The problem with it is, it feels like Titanfall, but without the fun of Titanfall.
The parkour element?
Right. There's no parkour.
Yeah.
Which was fun. But it still has that, it has that feeling.
Titanfall light.
It feels like Titanfall. It sort of plays a little bit like the gun mechanics and everything else, very, very Titanfall-esque.
Right.
But it lacks Titans, for one, lacks mechs. And in same way, the maneuverability across maps and stuff is not. Man, if they had just made like Titanfall Battle Royale, there's something's there, man.
Yeah,
something is there. Titanfall in that regard, mechs and the movement and everything else. Good. They're not doing it. And then Fortnite got mechs.
I didn't know that.
For their new season thing, Fortnite has mechs now that fall from the sky when you call on them. I think. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, what? No. Yeah, Mikuru X. Yeah, there was a hashtag on Twitter trending called Titanfall, and a lot of people are like, Titanfall? Did they announce something? And you look at it, it's like, oh, Fortnite has mechs. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, whoever was on the line. I had you on hold and I was coming to get you, but you hung up. So if you want to call back, feel free.
Well,
let's see. Hitman 3 is currently in development and might be episodic again. I know that I know James will be happy about that, and I know that Matt will be happy about that. The Blackout Club is now out of early access. I promote that because at a PAX, I want to say it was last year at PAX in Seattle, I got to play that game, and it was a lot of fun. In fact, I went through it, and they were like, "Hey, you're the first person who we brought behind closed doors here has actually gone through the entire thing and actually successfully gone through the level."
Nice.
But I didn't do it without a massive amount of tension, and that is exactly what this game breeds, is tension. Blackout Club, you play as a bunch of kids who are trying to break their parents out of this hypnosis.
Okay.
The adults of the neighborhood are all hypnotized, and they're coming to get the children.
Okay.
And so at night, you have to sneak around and basically collect these 3 different things and then escape with them. And then there's another aspect that you can do, which is like you pick up a key or something like that, but the key is even harder to get. And it's very, very sneak. Well, after a certain amount of time, this supernatural element comes into play. And it is, and I can't remember what they called him, but it's a character that enters the level and will find you at all costs. And there is no, there's no running from it. there is a little bit of hiding from it, but if it sees you, it's really bad.
Yeah, I was looking at the Steam page for this. I'm trying to remember, was this that game where, yeah, it mentions here, a fearsome enemy you can only see with your eyes closed. It's like when your eyes are closed, you see all this hazy red imagery in there, and that's the only way you can see
That's the only way you can see that character.
That character, yeah.
But when your eyes are closed, you can't see anything else, right?
Right.
So you have to be careful about where you're maneuvering, and like you shut your eyes and look around to see where he's at.
Yeah, this reminds me a bit of a old Saturn game back in the day called Enemy Zero. You ever remember that one?
I don't know. I never owned a Saturn.
The enemy in that game, alien, and it was an alien presence in the game. You couldn't, you just couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to have this earpiece in your ear called a VMU. Funny how the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The VMU, a VMU,
virtual memory unit.
It made a tone based on how close a life form is to you and its position. So if it was a quick pace tone, it was close to you.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a high pitched tone, it was in front of you. If it was a mid range tone, it's either on your left or your right. And if it was a low range tone, it's directly behind you. So that's all you had to go on. So I remember an incident where I was in a room where one of these aliens were, and it was a mid range tone. So I had to guess either is it to my left or is it to my right. And I turned right, and it was a wrong choice because it went from mid range tones to a low range tone. And that thing's right behind me. So I guessed wrong, and it killed me. So it reminds me of something something where a game where your vision isn't going to help. Vision's not going to help you. You got to go off something else to find out where the enemy is and try to get away from it. And that's what this Blackout Club reminds me of.
Yeah, it's I enjoyed playing it, but it was very tense.
Tense, yeah.
So it was enjoyable, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I don't think I could ever do that again.
So kudos to getting through that.
Yeah, they're out of early access, and so they're out there now. What else do we have as far as news? Oh, the PlayStation 4. We're coming up on a break here, but the PlayStation 4 has had a lifetime sales. Is this shipments or sales? Sony has officially shipped over 100 million PS4 consoles since November of 2013. During the quarter ending June 30th, 3.2 million consoles were shipped to retailers, bringing the total to 100 million. The more interesting statistic is that the console reached this milestone in 5 years and 7 months. The PS4 is now the fastest console to reach 100 million ever, outpacing the PS2 as well as the Nintendo Wii, which is a pretty big feat, I think. The Wii was hot stuff, man.
Yeah.
That was hot stuff during its time. The Wii was something that burned bright and burned fast. So, we've got another commercial break here that we need to take, and we're featuring the music of Chris Ulzbeck. This comes from, apparently from what I understand, he's done the music for all of these, the games in the series. But this is a sequel that was on the Super Nintendo called Super Turrican. Is it Turrican? Super Turrican 2?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Super Turrican 2 on the Super Nintendo. That's where this track comes from. So we're going to play that, and when we come back, we've got a little bit more of in-game chat left to go for you. We'll be right back. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. This goes back to the Commodore 64 days. It's R-Type.
Nice.
Remember R-Type?
Yeah. Still play it every now and then on emulator. Using that force orb to take out enemies ahead of me that I can't get to. Yeah. Remember, there was one R-Type Neo. I remember playing that one.
There's been so many versions of this game.
The one on PlayStation 2, I think. The one that had like 90-something different ships you had to unlock.
Wow.
R-Type Final, I think it was called. And yeah, there was like so many different ships you can pick up and everything.
It would be considered a shmup, right?
Yeah. Well, side-scrolling shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
I remember one of the ships was it wasn't Grace Note. It was something. It was like something that caused psychosis in the pilot. That's why it wasn't used in production much.
Interesting.
And his charge shot was something of a big this big optical illusion in the center of the playfield that would take out any enemies that touched it. It's a pretty unique game. So if you ever get a chance to see that, if you're an R-Type fan, R-Type Final was really something in terms of variety of the ships you could use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of those where it's like you upgrade as you fly, you pick up upgrades.
Yeah.
It was kind of like it was basically Contra but for ships. Where you'd have to catch the weapon upgrades, so then you'd get a spread shot.
Spread shot, yeah.
Or you'd get a laser, or then you'd get other, like, satellite ships that would,
rotate
around you and fire and everything else. You could,
protect you even as well.
Yeah.
I think in R-Type it was you had the refracting laser, the tri-shot, and then something else, something that traveled along the top and bottom of the screen. It would like shoot up and it hit the top and then it would travel along the surface along the surface. It was really good for some areas as well. You had to pick and choose which weapon you had to use or given the right situation, pick the right weapon. Good times though.
Yeah, it was.
Might want to play it. Might play it again.
The games for August for PlayStation Plus are Sniper Elite 4 and Wipeout Omega Collection. Which, by the way, if you've got PSVR, Wipeout Omega Collection has a VR section to it. If you've never played Sniper Elite 4, pick it up. This is good. It's a good game.
I should.
You should. Free. I mean, you're probably gonna anyway.
I got to do some. I got to do some file management though first. The 2 terabyte is filling up, but I still got my my Western Digital MyBook to move some stuff around, so I can do that.
I don't necessarily pick them up, but I always put them in my cart and I'm using air quotes to say I purchased them.
Yeah.
Basically, I link them to my account so that I can download them later if I want to.
Yeah, just put it in the library.
Yeah, basically, that's what I do. I already own Sniper Elite 4 on PC. It's wonderful. I do not have Wipeout Omega Collection, and I was very close to buying that. I remember when it released because I really wanted to see the VR aspect, and I had heard some really great things about the Omega Collection, so I'm glad to see that that's going to be there. Pokemon Go has been downloaded more than 1 billion times. We talked about Destiny 2 Shadowkeep being delayed 2 weeks. We talked about Ninja moving over to Mixer instead of Twitch. Oh, this was neat. I hate GameSpot. This is the only place I saw talking about it, but GameSpot's like, let's put a video on the front of our website. Any page people go to, let's put a video on it. It takes us longer to load the page. We don't care. It's a video. People want video content. Don't you know that? An adaptation of Blake Harris's 2014 book, Console Wars. Oh, now we're going to put an ad right there. We're going to put a sign up for our mailing address right over the cover. You're trash, GameSpot. You are trash. Your website is trash.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I hate stuff like that. If I wanted to sign up for email alerts, I'm going to go to your page and find where I can do that. Otherwise, don't throw it into my face because I didn't want it in the first place. And throwing it in my face doesn't make me want to sign up for it. Same goes to you, apps that want me to rate their app on my phone. Right in the middle of whatever it is I'm doing. Hey, how did we do? You want to leave us a review?
Yeah, I'm about
you
to.
Can't exit this unless you close the app. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm about to give you a review.
Yeah, he's horrible. Stop. Yeah, I know. IGN is also worse. There's only a few sites that I really... I follow a lot of sites just to make sure that I got everything covered. Like this is the only site that covered this news story. Mm-hmm. But so this came up first, and I highlighted it and said I got to remember that for this week to talk about it. If any other website that I also follow reported on this, I would have nixed this one and grabbed the other one.
Yeah.
Any of the other sites that I use, but nah. Yeah, the console wars, it tells the story of the battle between Nintendo and Sega in the 90s. Apparently, a television adaptation of this is going to go to CBS All Access, where it'll get a feature documentary and a TV series.
Mm-hmm. I remember a while back, wasn't it Seth Rogen going to be involved? Yeah, is this what he was working on?
According to Deadline, the documentary is being directed by Harris and Jonah Tullis. Mm-hmm. Oscar winner Doug Blush is producing. As announced previously, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are executively producing the documentary.
Okay, the documentary, okay.
As for the TV show, which will be a limited series, Kong Skull Island director Jordan Vogt-Roberts, who is also directing the upcoming Metal Gear Solid movie, is attached to direct. And Mike Rosolio is writing it. The company's written. Then it goes into here's what the book's about. Oh, and also CBS is GameSpot's parent company. Yeah, it is. So yeah,
it was good. It was a good book though, really good.
Yeah, I thought you would be interested in that. That was a fantastic book. I enjoyed reading that. And to anybody else, Console Wars, great book. Mm-hmm. Go out and pick that up. It's still available and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. What else we have? Epic Games Store has For Honor free and also Alan Wake. So if you have the Epic Games Store, you can get that. This I thought was interesting. So let's talk about Psychonauts 2 for a second.
Okay.
Psychonauts was a fantastic game developed by Double Fine, who, as we all know, is part of Tim Schafer. Right. He's the guy who really was behind that. Tim Schafer, big name in video game development. Also notorious for never staying under budget and always needing more money to finish his games and never getting a return on that money that he needed to make his games. Big name, but it's just, it doesn't...
kind of pricey.
He is. It'd be better to have him on as Tim Schafer Presents than to have a Tim Schafer game, because you're likely to make money on something that says Tim Schafer Presents rather than the money you'll make on a Tim Schafer game. At least according, that's just the trend that has been going on for a while now. Anyway, Psychonauts was the first one. Psychonauts 2 was announced, and they were going to use, Kickstarter was big at the time, and Indiegogo and all these other crowdfunding things. Well, Psychonauts 2, the development of that was announced, but they said we're not going to go with Kickstarter. We're going with this other thing called Fig. Fig, okay. I'd love to tell you that Fig means something, but Fig is a different way of crowdfunding.
Okay.
Fig gives you the option. If you want to just donate money to the cause, you can. Mm-hmm. But you can also go the investment route, which means if you go the investment route, you will submit a specific amount of money. The investment route tiers start at a certain level of money. And when you put in that certain level of money, depending on which one you go into, you then earn money back from profits of the game. You become an investor.
Okay.
Whereas everything else like Kickstarter and a bunch of these others, these are crowdfunded. You're not making any money off of these. You're essentially buying the product. You're paying for the product to be developed in order so you can get the product when it's released.
Right.
Fig, on the other hand, says, do you want to invest in this product? If you invest in this product, that means, you can get the product as well, but you'll also make the money on whatever if it makes money, you'll get something back. This was, I wish I had a year on this, is when that happened. When they announced that and when they were doing that. But, so, fast forward to E3 this year, and Microsoft announced that they had bought the rights to Psychonauts 2. And that they were going to release it. Last month, Microsoft announced that it bought Double Fine. Again, This is Microsoft. When they have a game that they want, they just buy the company making the game. They offer them a massive amount of money, and it's like, here, take this. STM Fuller looked it up. January 12th, 2016 is when it succeeded, the funding that it needed. So people have put in their money to be an investor on this. Anyway, Microsoft bought Double Fine. As part of that transaction, it also bought the Psychonauts 2 publishing rights from Fig. So now, people who have invested in this money are kind of on a hook here.
Yeah.
So what Fig is doing is, well, the game made money because these people bought Double Fine. The money was paid to Fig because they were gonna publish it. Mm-hmm. So if you put in a certain amount of money, you're going to get a certain amount of money back. You're actually going to come out ahead. Mm-hmm. In a message that went out to Psychonauts 2 investors today, Fig confirmed it'll be sending out first and final payments in mid-September. First and final. The first and final payment.
The only payment, basically.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, each $500 share will see a 139% return, which amounts to a 196 dividend per share. That rate is actually higher than what Fig had originally promised to those investors. The problem with this is, that's it. Yeah. If this game is massively successful, you're not making any more than what you've already gotten back because Microsoft now owns the publishing rights.
Right.
So if it's massively successful and makes a lot of money, then you could have stood to make more money, but they sold it.
Yeah.
And that, in another word, that's sort of, and I haven't looked at Fig. I don't know what kind of rules they have or what kind of like disclaimers that they say, well, hey, look, you put your money in, this is an investment. It may not come back, it may not come back good. Yeah. It may be negative rather than positive.
Investment's always a risk. Yeah.
Right. But a company just bought it.
Yeah.
They bought it. It wasn't a sense of anything other than buying it.
Yeah.
Who sold it? Who had the right to sell it? If Fig was doing this, did Fig have the right to sell it? And if Fig sells it, is there anywhere that states that in their disclaimer saying that, look, we have the right to sell off these properties? You'll still get some money back if the amount is big enough to cover it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I know this is a situation we're talking about, but this had to have happened before, some kind of way. I just can't think of it. I can't think of any right now.
Well, I can tell you this is the first time, Psychonauts 2 was the first time that Fig ever entered the lexicon of the gaming industry for me. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I was like, what's Fig? Oh, it's an investment thing. Okay, that's different.
Well, I'm not talking about like video games, like business in general.
Oh, no, I
that's,
know.
That's
yeah,
that's what I was talking about.
Oh, no, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But usually that's not crowdsourced.
Yeah.
That's under business, and your company I'm sure your company has policies and has contracts and everything else. This is an internet crowdsourced thing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a little bit different. If you put your money in and the thing fails, you get your money. Well, they never take your money. It only goes through if they succeed. And then if they do succeed, but you never get a product, Kickstarter has no liability. Yeah. Their hands are clean of that. They got their cut from the money you already put in. Mm-hmm. So if the product comes or doesn't come, they don't care. Yeah. They really don't. Yeah, now, if it turns out to be fraud, that's a little different. They'll pursue something like that. But if I remember I did I do my random facts every morning, and one was about one of Kickstarter's early backing things, the Coolest Cooler, I think is what it was called. Mm-hmm. Had a lot of people invest in it, millions of dollars were into it, but only, I don't know, maybe 500 people had received the product as of whatever time that was. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a situation with that. So, I don't know. Nothing's ever a guarantee, right?
Nope.
Usually. So, pre-orders went live for the Nintendo Switch Lite this past week at both Amazon, Best Buy, and Walmart, and I think GameStop as well. So I don't know if you pre-ordered or not. There's no real big incentive on this one. Usually it's like, you pre-order it now and you get it at a certain price. It's not going to drop at price that I know of. What else do we have? Oh, the organizers of E3 this morning, actually it happened late last night, but it only got around this morning. They accidentally leaked personal details of journalists, YouTubers, and analysts. 2,000 names.
Whoops.
Out in the open. Addresses, phone numbers. The private details of 2,025 games industry journalists and video producers have been leaked online. The list was accessible via their website through a download link. The Entertainment Software Association, who are the organizers of E3, told GameIndustry.biz that they regret the occurrence, bet you do, and have removed the link. The list includes names, publications, home addresses, email addresses, and phone numbers of journalists, streamers, YouTube creators, plus financial analysis and investors.
Man.
The list exists so that publishers and developers can invite See, I know, my name is on plenty of lists for Penny Arcade Expo, for E3, not necessarily this one. This was for this past year, and I did not go, so my name's not on that list. But, yeah, the way that works is if you apply as media, then your name goes into a group list where companies can then send you an email and say, hey, if we heard you're going to be in town, would you like to come see our game? And write an article on it or whatever. We'd like to show it off. I haven't... My appointment list is starting to trickle in for PAX.
Yeah.
But last week was Comic-Con, or week before last was Comic-Con. Evo is this week. What is that other one? There's another one. There's another video game convention going on, and I can't remember what it's called. Oh, man. I don't know. It's something that's either going on right now or it's going on next week. I'm just looking at my email. Hang on.
See.
That's PAX West. PAX West.
Wouldn't be in Germany, would it?
I think so. Gamescom? Is it Gamescom?
DevCom? That's in August 18th in Germany.
That may be part of Gamescom.
Okay.
So that may be what that is. So yeah, it's starting to come in, but it'll overflow here pretty soon. Yeah, Gamescom is Germany. Yeah. The list includes names. The list exists. Publishers and developers can invite analysts and media to events and private viewings that take place during the E3 show. They have since released a full explanation and apology for the data leak. The Entertainment Software Association made aware yesterday of a website vulnerability. Blah, blah, blah. We apologize for the inconvenience and have already taken steps to ensure this will not happen again. Problem is it's out there.
Inconvenience. Okay.
Yeah. The problem is that it is out there and it exists. Names and addresses and phone numbers of... Again, I want to go back to the fact that people online, not anybody I know, but people online are generally trash. They're generally horrible human beings. And with this information in their hands, you also have to understand the mindset of most people who comment on YouTube videos, or think about the worst person that you play online with. Just some random Joe that you run into while you're playing a multiplayer game, who calls you all manner of names, who is just a horrible, horrible person. Your home address and phone number are now in this kid's hands. Maybe he doesn't like you. Maybe there's somebody who watches any of those streamers we talked about and has their information, but hates them.
Yeah, maybe he has an opinion you didn't like or something like that.
And I'm not saying that they're going to do any kind of threats or anything like that. He could.
But the possibility is there now.
But now the problem is that they have this information. And so, like ESA's apology and everything else is one thing, but I think there is somebody, I was reading into a forum thread on this, and somebody's familiar in law has looked at it and said, well, here's the situation that they face now, or that they could possibly face under a lawsuit. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I'm looking at, well, yeah, okay, there's a lot.
Think about how bad this is going to hurt E3 in the future. I mean, reluctant to.
Yeah, I'm seeing seeing a lot of journalists tweet and stuff like that, saying that wow, the incompetence and the negligence from this, and that somebody's like, so when is that class action lawsuit starting? And the wheels are probably already in motion as well.
Yeah.
Lethal Migraine. To be fair, most game journalists are trash too. I'm sure, maybe. I don't know them personally. I don't read a lot of what I read a lot of when I do this stuff is just articles about here's what happened, not opinion articles, not video game reviews, that sort of thing. It's just opinion articles. Journalists who go to E3, I don't read their here's our impression of this game. I read about Microsoft is showing off this new game. What game is it? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Not your opinion of what this new game is.
Yeah.
So, it is. Game journalism is an offshoot of the game company's marketing department. You're actually pretty much right on that.
Yeah.
Although there has been some fantastic stories some people have put out. Jason Schreier?
I thought it was Schreier.
Schreier? Yeah. Over at Kotaku does a very good job. And especially his book that he also had out was also a really good it was a really good read as well. So his name was on that list, by the way. I don't think he faces anything that's going to be bad, but it's a big deal. Also, there was a lot of anonymity. There was people who were anonymous as far as like their reviews and their stuff like that, and now it's kind of exposed. So it's
That's a mess.
Yeah, there is. Yes, there's always exceptions. I agree. Anyway, we are running out of time for this episode, and, it's been like 3 hours since I played Destiny, so I need to get back into it.
Need your fix.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, this grind is a grind. This is where it takes the hobby and turns it into a job.
It turns into a chore.
Yeah, but I elect to do it, so I'm not saying, I'm not putting any other blame than on myself.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you didn't have anything to play, what would you play? If you were to get done with Destiny, what would you play?
I go back to Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games I haven't.
Don't you have Detroit?
I got Detroit too, but I played some of that. There's a lot that I need to go back and get on the bandwagon again, especially before Shadowkeep releases. But that's in October now.
Yeah,
so
you got time. Then we all got a backlog. I mean.
We do, but I've got a backlog of some really good games that I could actually enjoy.
Because I picked up God of War as well, and all that was good stuff. And then I got Catherine Full Body coming in September. I got a month from there.
I still never did the expansion for Uncharted 4.
The one with Naomi and
Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah. I still got to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's lots.
You got less than I do. I still haven't played 2, 3, 4.
Well, yeah, there's that. You got some good stuff coming your way. All right, that's going to wrap things up here. Thanks for joining us in the chat room and listening on the stream and on the radio as well. We do appreciate it. Thanks, everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes or wherever you get our show. I have no idea how to get our show other places, but it's out there. Our website, for one. Yeah. Go to ingamechat.net. That's our website. When I get this Discord set up, I'll put a link to it on our website. Especially for the Destiny clan. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, watch us on Twitch, subscribe to us. We're not on Mixer, but
we're going.
Figure something. Give us the money, we'll go. Like $5, we'll probably do it. We're not expensive. We're cheap. We want to thank everybody for showing up. Josh, thanks for your call. Chris, thanks for your call. Everybody, thanks for your call. Thanks for showing up every week like you do. Have a good one, and we will see you next week. I'll leave you here with music from Star Wars Rogue Squadron, not the sequel. Also this is N64. This is the Nintendo 64, Chris Ulzbeck. We'll see you next Saturday.